Hello everyone, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be showing off Aglaea and Evernight. I've been getting a lot of requests for this one, so I did want to show it off. And just as a quick disclaimer, this is more so meant to be a fun team rather than a best in slot team like you would see with Hypercarry Aglaea or even Hypercarry Evernight, whatever it may be. So I just wanted to mention that real quick. And also, before we get into today's video, I would love to know one of your favorite video games. One of mine that I've been heavily enjoying recently would definitely be Persona 4 Golden. And lastly, if you do enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe to see more content from me, leave a like to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. We're gonna start off by using our techniques and then get straight into it. And we are gonna be using Aglaea, Sunday, Evernight, and Hyacine. The reason I have Hyacine is so she can assist with getting more Memoria for Evernight, and also just her frequent attacks will be very useful for the enemies we are facing. As for Evernight, she of course is going to be able to buff Aglaea, as well as also deal some decent damage herself as a sub DPS for this team. Aglaea and Sunday of course is a very common synergy, as Sunday will be able to provide Aglaea damage boost, crit rate, crit damage, and one of the most important things being the energy that Sunday will provide with his ultimate. So this enemy right here is going to summon its little friends, which no problem here. I'm going to advance forward Aglaea. We are going to just attack with Aglaea before using Sunday's ultimate right here, as I want to use Aglaea's ultimate and then use Sunday's. I don't want to waste the Sunday ultimate when Aglaea is already that close to getting her ultimate. So that's why I waited right there. And now we're just going to attack like normal. Aglaea's frequent attacks will also be very useful for advancing forward these little enemies here. So they'll continuously take damage, which is great. Little Ika is gonna come in, whoop bam. As for Hyacine, I'm using her ultimate pretty frequently just so I can get more and more attacks out. So these things can keep advancing themselves forward. We'll get more Memoria for Evernight. And of course, they'll just gradually take more damage as well. So now we're in the duel stance with this enemy. No problem here though. Aglaea is going to attack like usual. Now this little thing is going to blow up. There we go. So now with Evernight, we'll use her skill. We have a decent amount of Memoria. Well, bam. And now I want this thing to advance itself forward. So what we're going to do is advance toward Aglaea, attack like normal, like so. Now that enemy will advance themselves forward in a moment here. And they took a nice chunk of damage right there. So what we're going to do with Evernight is use her ultimate. There we go. And Evey is going to come in and attack. And as for Hyacine, we are going to use her skill right here. And little Ika's gonna come in, well, bam. I am also just gonna use her ultimate here again, just to deal some more damage onto these enemies. And as we can see, Aglaea is really close to getting her ultimate as well. So we just need to get a bit more energy here. There we go. We're going to use Aglaea's ultimate, and now we can also use Sunday's ultimate. Same thing as I said before. I didn't really want to waste the Sunday ultimate as we were that close to getting Aglaea's ultimate. And now this is the final hit right here. Boom. And we were able to clear within a 0 cycle for the first wave. So now we're facing Japard. So we're just going to continuously attack Japard as well as the enemy beside him. Be able to advance that enemy forward very frequently just because of how frequently we are attacking. So Japard's gonna put a shield on that enemy, which is a little unfortunate because now Aglaea can't deal damage onto them for that single hit there, but it is okay. We are about to run into a problem though, as Aglaea is about to exit her stance, unfortunately, which this is something to keep in mind of if you do decide to have fun with this team yourself. If you don't have a character like Huahua, or if you don't have an E1 Aglaea, it's more than likely you will encounter a situation where unfortunately you're gonna lose your stance. Unfortunately there, we were so close to getting the Sunday ultimate, or even really close to getting Aglaea's ultimate herself, so that was a little unfortunate, but it is okay. We can just carry on. That is something that is definitely likely gonna happen if you do decide to use a team like this. We're gonna get attacked a bit here, perfectly fine though. More Memoria for us and more energy. With Sunday, we're just gonna use his ultimate once again. Evey's gonna come in attacking. Not the most ideal Evey explosion right here, as we didn't have that much Memoria, but it is okay. We are just going to attack here with Aglaea once again. We are dealing decent damage to Jeopard. Once we get all of our stacks again, then we'll be able to deal, of course, more damage onto him. So advance toward Aglaea again, and now we can just use the enhanced basic. And we also just have so many skill points because Aglaea isn't taking advantage of our skill points, Evernight isn't taking advantage of our skill points. So we literally just have Hyacine and Sunday able to skill spam no problem here. So we are going to get attacked, and now the turbulence is going to come in. We should be able to clear this though in this cycle. And boom, there we go. Now Aglaea is going to come in with the garment maker. And we are really close to losing our stance again, but thankfully we got hit there. So now we can use Aglaea's ultimate once again and reset the countdown. Now we're going to attack. Boom. And now it should be good to go for the showcase for us being able to get a 1 cycle clear. So with Hyacine, we're going to just use the ultimate. I just want to keep attacking this thing just so I could advance itself forward like so. And there we go, we're done. So yeah, we were able to get a 1 cycle clear with today's team. And real quick, let's go over the builds for today's video and any additional things I'd like to note regarding this showcase. All right, so here we have Aglaea. We're going to quickly go over her stats. We have a nice amount of crit rate. I want to ensure that the 20% that Sunday is going to be able to give will be able to get Aglaea to 100% within battle. We do have her signature light cone. And when it comes to her crit damage, Sunday as well as Evernight will be able to assist with giving Aglaea more crit damage. So we have a huge focus on our crit rate when it comes to her out of battle stats. We also have an E0 Aglaea. Once again, if we had an E1, we more than likely wouldn't have encountered the situation where we exited our stance. So we would have been a little bit more consistent there and potentially even have gotten a 0 cycle if we did have an E1 Aglaea. So here we have Sunday, nice amount of crit damage, 134 speed. We do have a signature light cone. For the traces, they are maxed out. And for the relics, we are going to be using Lushaka and Ordeal. Lushaka is going to be buffing Aglaea's attack as she is the first character in the team lineup, and Sunday is also E0. Now we have Evernight, and I just realized I have a little bit of a mistake with my Evernight build. I'm at 55% crit rate. I'm supposed to be at 65. In my last showcase, I used Remembrance Trailblazer, so I accounted for that 10%. So a little bit wonky with my Evernight builds. I was missing just 10% crit rate to maximize her crit rate to 100%. But we also have an E0 Evernight. If we had E1, this would have nicely improved the damage output of our memosprites. So Little Ika, the Garment Maker, and so on. So that E1 also more than likely would have given us a 0 cycle clear. For Hyacine, we do have our signature, but if you don't have this one, you can use an option like Memory Curtain Never Falls. As for her traces, they're maxed out. As for her relics, we're just using Giant Tree and then Warrior Goddess of Sun and Thunder, and then Hyacine is going to be completely E0, as we all can see. So as I mentioned, when it comes to Aglaea or Evernight, if one of them did have their first Eidolon, more than likely we would have actually been able to get a 0 cycle clear. But if you're looking at this, okay, what about all the signature light cones? What if I had more budget friendly light cones? So let's say in the case of Evernight, you decided to use a different light cone on her, not her signature. And let's say on Hyacine, maybe use Memory Curtain Never Falls instead. I believe you would be more so looking at the 2 cycle range against the boss we just fought, which was Jeopard. More than likely, in worst case scenario, you'd be more so looking at a 3 cycle clear with more budget friendly light cones. When I experimented a bit more with Battle Pass light cones during my testing, I was able to get a 2 cycle clear with this team. But regardless, the team still is very premium when it comes to the characters that are on it. This is more so supposed to be a fun team to show off rather than, of course, best in slot. In the case of Aglaea, I would still recommend going for Sunday, going for your Robin, your Huohua. Basically, your usual Aglaea hypercarry team, I would recommend over this type of team. And in the case of Evernight, I would more so recommend her with Casterus or even hypercarry Evernight herself. But I did want to show off this team for those that have requested it. And it's still a pretty fun team overall, just having some fun with all the memo sprites that were on the field. And also, I will be releasing some more Evernight content very, very soon. soon for you all. Her review is coming up very soon, so do stay tuned for that. I will also be talking about her E1 or her signature light cone very soon as well for those that are curious about that. And lastly, if you did enjoy today's video, consider subscribing to see more content from me. Leave a like to support the video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.